Hello everybody. So I decided to do this video outside today because it's a beautiful day. It's supposed to rain later this afternoon, but right now it's just really pretty outside. Um, I'm doing today my update. As of April 1st, it will be 8 months that I've been on the carnivore diet. And I'll do my 1 year update in August. But as of today, I am down to 178. Before the last update, I talked about my weight had been fluctuating between 180 and 183 and 185, and it stayed there for the longest time, like probably about a month. It would fluctuate between 183 and 185. Well, then it shot down to 180. Oddly enough, it has started fluctuating between 180 and 182, and it did that for a couple of weeks, and then it just kind of stayed steady at 180 to 181, and it would fluctuate a half a pound between those two numbers. Finally, I broke the 180 mark and dropped down to 178. Well, now it's kind of fluctuating between 178 and 179. By about a half a pound it's fluctuating, and I'm sure a lot of that is water weight. Because your body holds water. And I don't weigh myself regularly. I try to get a weight in once a week, but I don't always do that, just because I like to be surprised. But the other good news, like for my son, who is also on the diet with me, over the course of the last 3 months, he's been cheating a lot. Just because he's struggling to stay on just a carnivore diet. He feels like he needs other things, which is fine. Like, he can add dairy in a little bit here and there, but no, he's been eating pretty much anything you can think of. It irritates me, but I understand where he's coming from, just because he's autistic and he doesn't do well with change. It takes him a long time to, figure it out. But last Monday, he went in for his yearly checkup, and then a week later was supposed to be his 3-month checkup, so the doctor just combined the two of them together. But because it was his yearly, they had to do blood work, and they checked his lipids and a whole host of other things they checked. But at the same time, we also asked if they would check his A1C level. So if you remember the last update I did, Stanley's A1C was at 5.7, which meant that he was still in the danger zone of being a diabetic, because 5.7 is still pre-diabetic. Well, when they called him last Friday with his results, they said all his numbers were fine, they were normal, and they said even his A1C was normal. And so I said, well, what was his exact number on his A1C? And they said it was down to 5.3. So he is completely out of the danger zone. He is no longer pre-diabetic. He's out of the danger zone of being a diabetic. So I'm really proud of him for that, despite the amount of cheating he's done over the last 3 months. Unfortunately, he did gain about 10 pounds in the process, but I'm not overly concerned about it, and the doctor wasn't overly concerned about it either, because it's only 10 pounds, and if I can get him to stick to the carnivore diet and not cheat for at least a month, then I know he can drop that 10 pounds back off. So anyway, that is our update for now, at the 8-month mark. And like I said, again, I will do another update at our 1 year, at our 1 year carniversary, as they call it. I am anxious. I'm a little frustrated with the fact that I feel like I'm not losing as much weight as I should be losing. But I know it takes time to, clear out all the fat before you actually start losing the weight. And I'm pretty sure even my doctor said this too, is that just because the weight doesn't show that it's coming off doesn't mean that the diet is not working. It's cleaning the inside before it sheds the weight. And I guess that kind of makes sense. I just am impatient, and would like to see a little more weight, start seeing the weight drop off a little more often, because, I want to be at a certain weight by the time summer hits, like June, July. Not necessarily so that I can fit into a new bathing suit, but I'm kind of anxious to have a better looking body, have a healthier feeling body. If that makes sense to any of you guys, some of you may understand that, some of you may not, and that's fine. I just want to be healthy. Anyway, I will catch you all later. You all have a great day.